How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Disband back with the third episode of how to play Millia Rage. In today's video, we're going to be going over her neutral, which is a pretty common question I get. You definitely have to be creative at times when it comes to her neutral game. But enough with the chit chatter, let's dive on in. So I'm going to assume by now everyone knows Millia has 2 air dashes. The game's been out about a month. So, you know, she can go over and cross back, which can be really good for neutral, really good for mix-ups. But she also can use Capel as sort of a third air dash. It's just another movement tool in her toolkit. So don't be afraid to use that. Don't be too obvious neither. The thing about this character is you can't be too flowchart or too autopilot, and you have to kind of keep your opponent on their toes and keep them guessing, whether it's mix-ups, neutral, you know, any type of deal. You really don't want to autopilot as this character. Since we just talked about Capel, let's talk about more special moves now. She has a wide array of them that can help her in neutral in a lot of situations, Miraz being one of them. It actually phases through the opponent like so. Even if you don't do it in a block string, you can cross them up. Although be wary, they can mash out of that or grab. But once they're conditioned not to press right there, it can be really strong to keep things changing and keep them guessing and on their toes. But another really good thing about this move is it actually can low profile a lot of things and go through projectiles. So it's one of those things where if you're playing an opponent that has a good fireball, like maybe Kai, and you notice they like to throw it out a lot in neutral, you can just go right through it. So keep that in mind and definitely lab out a lot of situations with it. Okay, this next one is kind of matchup dependent, but in certain matchups I do like to do this, and I see LK do it as well. But if you use the H version of disc from full screen, you can kind of dictate part of the screen. Another thing too as well with this, if you're in like the mid-range game, you could actually throw it out and purple RC back. I actually catch people with that occasionally, but I'm going to show you an example right now in match again of me using this. Once again, this is more of a matchup dependent thing in my opinion, but you kind of just have to play around with it, see what matchups you like to do it in. But it is just another option to where your opponent can't just keep, you know, trying to run up on you or apply pressure, because sometimes they might accidentally commit, and then once they get hit by that, it's essentially a free combo. All right, the final special move we're going to talk about is her turbo fall, which is okay in certain situations. I personally only like to throw it out if I have tension, and it looks something like this. I'll actually show an example from a real match using this strategy right here. So as you can see in that match right there, that Anji tried to anti-air me, and since I used the tension to purple RC drift, he whiffed and I got the punish. So it's like one of those things I'd throw out occasionally, but not often, and especially if you don't have any tension. Since we're on the topic of RC canceling, let's talk about blue RC drift now. It can be really helpful in those situations where you think your opponent's going to press a button, or maybe you react to them pressing a button, whether they're on the ground or in the air, because it's going to add frames to that. So I'll show you an example from a match now. As you can see, the Soul player tried to press a button when I blue RC drifted, and it allowed me to secure the round win. And it's one of those things that you should definitely add to your game plan in neutral with this character. This next example is using Septum Voices, which is one of Millia's supers. So obviously you do need tension to do this, but if you're in a matchup with an opponent that has a projectile or a fireball, It's really good if you can react to that, or you just make a read that they're going to throw it out in neutral. But for example, you could react to something like that, and if you're quick enough, you can actually run up and get a combo off that with Millia, or even throw out disc, which is one of the better ways to set up disco key with her, is after that super. But just get creative and definitely stop letting your opponent bully you in neutral with full screen projectiles. Alright guys, that's going to conclude the video for today. I hope it helped out, because I get a lot of questions about what to do in neutral with Millia, and maybe this video can shed some light on that. Definitely subscribe if you're not already, because this is a weekly series, and if you're trying to level up your Millia and you're not subscribed, then what are you doing? I appreciate if you're still here watching up to this point. Y'all stay safe and peace out.